Hey, what up, everybody? This is the Family Wealth Club, man. It is a Tuesday evening. I'm at a hotel conference, real estate meetup, about to have dinner. I'm gonna make a video in there for you. I can't express to you enough how getting out and networking with your local community on real estate is very, very super duper important. And I'll chime in with y'all in a minute. Peace. Alright, so real fast, as promised, man, I told you we was gonna come to this wholesale dinner. Amazing opportunity, man, talking about wholesale, flipping real estate, networking. It's Tuesday, maybe like 7 o'clock in the evening, man. So the power of networking. I'm bringing the resources back to the community from the investor standpoint, and we're gonna build this family wealth club. Now, Fat Boy gotta eat. Peace. Alright, y'all, so look, man, we wrapping this up. Convention again. It's like a Tuesday evening local real estate workshop. As you can see, this joint is packed, right? So one of my biggest takeaways was always show up, because at my table I just so happened to sit with a lady who was the award recipient for the best new deal. So she was a newbie, she just joined, and she won the first new deal. I happened to talk to her out in the lobby, and she happened to sit at my table, and then she won the award. And then also at my table was a guy who I met, an elder in the game, for over 20 years real estate investing. I happened to meet him at the last meeting. He just so happened to be at my table for this dinner, and he told me to give him a call so he can help me find a wholesale deal. So, you know, show up, man. Just show up. And again, like I said, I'm bringing this back to the people. Y'all see who in here for the most part. Y'all see who here for the most part. But again, man, Black Robin Hood signing out. Peace.
Peace, everyone. That video that you just saw was me attending a powerful end of the year meeting with a local real estate group, real estate club. And I strongly encourage anyone who is looking to get into real estate to join your local real estate investment club. All of your resources are going to be right there as far as your mentors, people who have the experience, people who are selling excellent deals at wholesale prices if you want to buy them cheap and you want to fix them, and people who you can learn from on various different contract options on getting deals. So I strongly encourage you to look into your local real estate club. A major takeaway, as I said in the video, is about showing up. And for me, I was outside in the lobby, decided to strike up a conversation with a lady who was sitting next to me, her and her husband. And the lady started telling me about, you know, she's only been in it for now 7 months, since May. And she told me about one particular deal where she made about $60,000 off the deal. And she told me about her title company that she works with. And sometimes if she do put her money up on a deal, the title company literally within an hour or so wires her money right back with her assignment fee for the contract and whatnot. And she gave me that title company information, because that becomes very important, because you want to work with a title company who understands wholesale transactions if you were doing the wholesale transaction, right? So I decided to get her information. And so lo and behold, we go inside of the dinner room, and there are like literally a lot of tables. This is almost 250 people that's at this event. As you can see, it's very crowded. And lo and behold, her and her husband is sitting at my table. And so as the night progresses, with the real estate club is honoring their members. So who got the best deal, people who got the worst deal and whatnot. And for the newbies, who are basically freshmen, the newbies this year, when they just come in this year, they honor the newbie who has the best new deal. And this woman who was at my table won the award for the best new deal. And I was just like, wow, what a coincidence that I happened to get her information before she became a star of the night and whatnot. So that's what I mean by the power of networking, speaking up, and, you know, just really working your hand. Also at my table was a gentleman by the name of Mike, who I met at a previous meeting, who they said, you know, this guy, you want to find this guy named Mike because he does a lot of wholesale. He's been doing it for over 20 years. Well, Mike was at the table and he also won an award, right? And Mike seen me, he said, hey man, I met you last time. I was like, yeah. He's like, how you doing? I said, I'm doing pretty good with the flips, but I'm still trying to learn wholesale. He's like, call me. So I called him a couple days later. He's looking for deals as well, but he gave me some valuable information on a particular service to be able to track down an owner of a property where I can get their direct information, their family members' information, and to be accurate and whatnot. And you know, I paid for that service, matter of fact, and that report came right back in less than 24 hours, and I'm able to pursue what it is that I'm pursuing. And so, you know, I can pick up the phone and call him anytime as he expressed, because again, you want to build the power of the network. Now, I want to say this about the network because, you know, a month ago when I went to another real estate 3-day conference, you know, I'm making friendships with the people that's in the audience like me, and it was a chaplain and his wife in front of me. Very funny guy. And, you know, I'm like, hey man, after this, I'm definitely joining my local real estate group, which they knew about, and they said that they too were going to, you know, join it. So I sent him a picture from the dinner event, and I said, yo, this place was popping. And he was like, oh, is that the event that that they wouldn't let us attend? I said, why wouldn't they let you attend? He said, because when I tried to register online, it was showing the error, and I would call them and they said, well, if I didn't attend, then, if I didn't register RSVP, we couldn't come. Now, I experienced the same error on my side. I did it on my phone. I went to my computer. I cleared my cookies. I went back to the site, tried to register again. Then I said, oh, it's something wrong with on their back end. So I sent them an email and say, hey, just for your information, your RSVP button is showing the error. You may want to fix that. Nobody replied, but it was like the day before the event. So I understand it's busy. So I went to the event anyway. So I go to the table. I'm like, hey man, they said, did you reserve? I said, no man, y'all, it was showing the error on the website. They said, okay, what's your name? And just printed out a ticket for me and gave me a name tag. And I was expecting to pay, because the way they have it set up, you can attend one meeting for free. And then after that, you have to pay like $35 a meeting or join the membership, right? So I was expecting to pay the one-time meeting fee. And so I didn't. And nobody asked me how many meetings I've been to, and I attended the dinner. And so when I look back and I told the chaplain, I said, listen, on this journey to change your life, you're going to be met with intense opposition. That's just a fact. The moment that you have anything that's noteworthy, a championship, anything that's noteworthy, you're going to be met with resistance. You have to show up. That's the classic point in the scripture, the devil is a lie. You have to show up. So when I analyze, you know, because the next meeting is another month from now, when I analyze the chaplain sitting at home, sort of frustrated, right? I got the same thing, but my reality was different. And why? It's because I took action. So taking action is very, very, very important. So we have a major crisis on our hands, and that major crisis is when the average American is said that 6 out of 10, so 60%, do not even have $1,000 in savings. As I showed in the free webinar, Black median income is actually shrinking from year to year, and the stats say by 2053 we have a net worth of 0 as Black people in the United States. Now, I want to address what the Family Wealth Club is going to address is the poverty gene of poor financial consciousness that majority of humanity has. It has nothing to do with race, and this is what I mean. When people win the jackpot, the lottery, the lump sum, 70% of them file bankruptcy or broke in financial shambles within 5 years. Almost 80%, which is 78, almost 80% of people who leave the NFL, the National Football League, within 2 to 3 years file for bankruptcy and are under severe financial distress. 60% of NBA players within 5 years are in the same category. So from lottery to NFL to NBA, a lot of us do not understand the mechanics of finances. That's the thinking that we have to change. I like to show a report card that if you got an F, if you have $0 to $999 to your name, you give yourself an F. You a D if you have $1,000 to $9,999. You a C if you got 10 grand up to $99,999. Give yourself a B if you got 100,000 all the way up to $999,999, and give yourself an A because you have at least $1 million. Okay, and it's just a quick little financial grid using basic math, zeros and nines, right, to understand where we are. And as I shared in the webinar, I am a C personally, which is just average. However, the vehicle that I am in, real estate, is a B. And as I showed in the webinar, just one deal, when you flip the deal, when you do the rehab on a deal, this year, on the first quarter of 2018, the average was $69,500. The yearly average for all the way up to the third quarter, because we in the last part of the year, was $66,400. If you do one flip a year, that will make you the top race income earner. One. Two, what could you do with an extra $60,000? You can do a whole lot, an extra $5,000 a month. You can do a whole lot with that. Okay? All right. You know, the solution of what we have to do is we have to participate inside of rebuilding urban America. It's very, very, very important. Economics is defined as the study or the social science of production, distribution, and consumption. In other words, how you produce something, how you make something, how you push that product of services out or the product itself out, and then how people use that, okay? And this is where we're weak at. Again, it goes back to the lottery, the NFL, and the NBA players. We don't understand how to participate in economics, okay? And so a lot of people don't understand because like, I don't have no money. That's why I like the real estate wholesale portion, because it really takes a little bit of money. You only need business cards and postcards or some money to figure out people's phone numbers and pay a company to look up the phone numbers. Like little money, okay? And so you can really get started on this path. But even if you don't have no money, what I like about strategic partnerships, let's just say, for example, I love Detroit, and I'm gonna talk about Detroit in a second because I see so much opportunity in Detroit. So let's just say, for example, we have a project going and we need to get it fixed, and our budget is $60,000 tops. That's our budget, period. And then all of the contractors come in at $60,000. They can all get it done for 60. But you just so happen to find a contractor who says, hey, I can get it done at 55. It's legit, it's on paper, you show you can get it done at 55. Maybe you told them, hey, I need your absolute best price. I need you to beat 60. And I'll put it in writing that in our next deal, we're going to use you for the service, right? So you get it at 55. You just save your partners $5,000. Now your partners can say, hey, out of this $5,000 that you saved, here go $2,500. You take half of whatever you saved us, because we're still coming under budget by $2,500. That's what I mean by strategic partnerships. Things like that could be applied. Finder's fees and things of that type of nature can be applied. You just have to put in the sweat equity if you don't have the cash equity to go into the deal. And sometimes it's just a matter of putting the pieces together. Okay, so I said I was going to talk about Detroit. Back in October of 2013, I made a flyer that said, "Let's take over Detroit." Okay, I knew that Detroit was bankrupt. The world knows that Detroit is bankrupt. It was in shambles, and it was the perfect opportunity, and still is, to invest in Detroit, especially if you would have got into this area called Midtown. This was October of 2013. Well, September of 2015, almost exactly 2 years later, Chase Bank announces that they were hooking up with the Kellogg family, and they were creating this fund for minorities to invest in their businesses so the minorities could grow the economy. Okay, and so they was dropping at that time $6.5 million. If you go to their website right now, they're telling you, Chase Bank is telling you, by 2019, they will have $150 million invested inside of Detroit. Okay? For anybody who is what we would call a minority, African American, or companies that have predominantly minority staff members, this funding can be accessible to you. Now here it is for me looking at this as a future developer, and I'm saying, yo, we should be in Detroit. And then a whole 2 years later, here come the big bank and say, yo, we should be in Detroit. Let's start the development. We're 2 years ahead of the curve on this, okay? So the solution is we have to participate in our own realm of economics. You have no choice. Economics is the lifeline, literally the blood, the cash flow. We all need products. We all need services. The problem is we don't know how to network within how we're utilizing that dollar. So the infamous saying of Asian people keep their money in the community for 28 days. Jewish people keeps it for such and such days. The black dollar only stays for 6 hours and it's gone. Whatever it may be, we have an issue and we need to strive to correct that issue, and that is the primary focus of the Family Wealth Club. Okay, so we absolutely have to participate in economics. So on 12/19, okay, just 10 days from now, we're going to have our first members only webinar at 8 p.m. And this first webinar is going to be awesome because we're going to deal with some basic concepts of you understanding partnerships, your position in partnership, whether it's equity partnership or whether it's preferred rate. You need to understand the basic components of making your money work for yourself, okay? I will also say that it's not solely about real estate, not at all. To be able to come together and have a network, like I shared in the free webinar, where people have, a cosmetic business, and this person has a cosmetic business, and y'all should be at Bonner Brothers convention, the most popping convention there is all year when it comes to the beauty industry. Why are you not there? Well, I don't have enough money to be there. Why not? This person is inside of that. This person is inside of that. Y'all need to come together and split a booth. Or maybe y'all create a company together that's strictly for, vending purposes, and y'all iron out what it is that the parties do. Maybe one person make the product and the other person is responsible for the name and the design and the package, or maybe the other person is responsible for sales. Or maybe you just can pick up the phone inside of the network and say, hey, anybody's interested in putting $2,000 up for the Bonner Brothers convention, you loan me the money, you be my partner in on it, and I can bring you back X percentage return on that for giving me a personal loan to help me grow my business. We should be able to have the internal network within ourselves, and I absolutely know that we do. All right. And so again, I invite you to join our membership, the Family Wealth Club. And I'm looking for the first courageous 100 families, like to be a part of something that is magnificent, to be a part of something that you know is the right thing to do, creating family wealth, creating wealth for yourself, and then learning how to preserve wealth, and then learning how to transfer wealth. All of these are stepping stones, and it's absolutely critical. Whether you're individual, don't have no family, and you wish to leave it to a charity organization when you die, that's perfectly fine. We know that we have to get in the game and start creating financial wealth for ourselves and or family. So when you see me physically going out here buying buildings, like the big old building in Ohio, the historical property, like I need help building that out. Like once again, I'm ahead of the curve because now the development is just now coming in. If you saw the webinar, you saw the information as far as the city planners and people, the architects building some buildings at the end of the street of our property. And so now we have a vested interest. This is the time where I talk about strategic partnerships, and I'm saying, hey, who's going to pick up the phone and call Magic Johnson Enterprises, who already invest inside of urban America, and say, hey, y'all need to check this specific area out. It's doing about 214 million in the neighborhood. That's the median, total amount of money in that neighborhood. Like, they don't have no store. Like, we need to do the basic homework and just keep on sending it. What happens if we send 100 of those emails out, in a month? You got 100 emails talking about check this area, check this area, check this area, check this area. Enough where they say, hey, I got the freaking email. We take a look at it, or I got the email. You a pest, leave me alone. But I'm going to tell you something about that. They'd be like, whoever they are, they relentless. But they're going to take a look. We have a vested interest to find a developer because now we have property in the neighborhood. And that's how we need to start moving. That's how we are moving. So when you see us come with these projects and these buildings, it is for the greater good of the community. And I say last but least, our track record is impeccable. For years, right here on Facebook, you have seen us post nothing but testimonial after testimonial, especially when it comes to something called the Toel Love Fund. January of 2019 will make its 7-year birthday, its 7-year anniversary, because it started in January 2012. For only $13 a month, people have been just all putting money in the fund or in our account, and what we do is just say, hey man, who's next on the list? We divide it by 4. You take $120, you get 120, you get 120, you get 120, and we just go down the line. This is not about getting rich. You don't make no money. We're just simply doing the right thing. It's basic common sense for us to pool money together and help each other out. But if we can do that on bills and debt, then we should be able to say, hey man, let's do something together as a business. Your landlord, if you rent, your landlord should be your greatest partner. Real spill, your landlord. See, either a property management company, not even property management, either it's an individual at the end of the day that owns the property, whether it's a business or not, it's an individual. But especially if your landlord is an individual and it's not no corporate thing, and for some reason you can't find who the corporate person is. This is your greatest ally. How long have you been living at the property? How much money have you given them? So take your rent times that many months. Okay? So I know with mine that I know I've given him well over $20,000 within 2 years. Okay? So my pitch is, I believe in you. I invest in you. This is what I got going on. Okay? In real estate. In fact, let's partner on the deal. In fact, you create an LLC, Mr. Landlord, as a business, and then your business will contract with my business, do a contract together, or we can put it solely in your name if you feel comfortable that way, because I believe in you. I rent from you anyway, so I trust you. I don't have no problem giving you my money because I do it every month anyway. So the deal can be structured under your name to feel safe. In contracts, we can work out the parameters of the responsibilities. I'll manage the deal, whatever, sell the deal, and then this would be the percentage split. You see what I'm saying? So you have to always be looking for opportunity and learning how to present those type of things. All right. So that's just some of the things that we get into inside of the Family Wealth Club. Again, it starts December the 19th. I'm asking you, my Facebook friends and family, let's be more than friends. Let's really become family that have a vested interest in creating wealth.